welcome to the July-August edition of CITV, which is our 61st edition. This episode is dedicated entirely to the Delray Beach townhomes project, giving you, the viewer, an insight into the progress of this project. Now, once again, we will meet all of the team that is helping to put this project together, and I look forward to joining you guys on a bi-monthly basis as we construct and then sell the townhomes. Now, as an aside, we did make a bid on another piece of land in Long Lake Estates in Boca Raton, South Florida, earlier this month, but unfortunately we were outbid. Now, as of this moment, we don't know by how much, and when I do find out, I will inform you by the next episode. Anyway, let's start with the sales, marketing and strategy meeting that we held this week. I have to apologise in advance for the slightly out of focus video. It is entirely down to the plonker that filmed it, that being me, and if I could whip myself I would, but I've been assured by those who love me that it's not so bad. This is a sales and marketing meeting for the sale of the Delray Beach townhomes. We have here Gina, Danielle, we have our partner from London, he flew in specially for this meeting today, John Harmon. We have Tally Israel, myself, Tony, and we have here Matthew. So we hope you enjoy what you're going to see. I think the first thing I'd like to know is that what is the expected price right now as it stands at this moment in the marketplace?
Well, we have a comp that just closed one street over from where we're building our townhouses. This comp is smaller and it's slightly older. It was built in 2018, sort of basic finishes, 2459 square feet under air, and that just closed at $2,050,000. And the price per square foot on that was $826. So that would put our smaller unit around $2,500, just price per square foot.
Okay, well our target price for this one was $2,600. And the one in the middle was $3,200.
Again, we have other features in our townhouses that this does not have. We have more garages, we have a golf cart garage, we have a swimming pool, ours is new construction.
So the target price is holding up?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
I actually see that we could have a bidding war. I can see a lot of people making offers on each one, because look at all the single family homes. As soon as they come on the market, people are bidding 20, 30,000 over ask price in the luxury sector right now.
More.
Or already have people that are interested in seeing it.
We have changed the color, it's not a shade of blue.
Yes.
So it's gonna be
It's a
lighter
very
blue,
pale,
Powder.
like silvery blue.
powdery blue, yeah, that would.
And also, so I had this thing about selling a golf cart with every house that we built, which is about $2-3 for a golf cart. So what do you think? Necessary, not necessary?
I think maybe we can
Throw it in.
promote it, we can give them an option. I think it's great because people in Delray, like I lived right there across the street from the project, and we always had the golf cart come and pick us up and drive us there.
$2 or $3 you may as well. But what I was going to say is market them and see what happens if they fly. Well, there's no need to do it, is there?
Yeah.
But you won't know that until you.
Yeah, we can do that when we're closer to completion.
Okay.
It's not sold.
All right.
It's the sort of thing that would excite me.
Yeah.
It would or wouldn't?
It would.
Yeah, I
no,
think
that's
it's
right.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's
it's different. Like I
It
said,
is, it's
yeah.
different.
It'll get certain attention.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, and also
The
don't
kids
think-
all love it.
That's what I said, the kids go in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something we should
What I
do.
like about this design that Shane did also for the middle unit is that he built this massive skylight at the top, and it just
Bring all
shines
the
all over.
light
It's
in.
lovely, really nice. The other thing that you excited me about is you told me about the vinyl floor that everyone's putting into these down. I mean, that's a big saving. It's a huge saving.
Have you finally got it over there? That's the one I was telling you about.
Is it?
Christmas, yeah. Yeah, we've been using that for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, well, they have here too, but now it's getting so good.
Is it? Yeah.
And people like walking on it because it's not as hard as tile.
Yeah.
And
Easy, it's clean.
And if they want to replace it, it comes up easily.
It
It's,
does,
you know, they don't have to
It's
chisel
only
up tile.
thin. It's only
It's
thin,
very
and they
thin.
can.
So the staircases, we're going to match natural wood to the vinyl, and then the bathrooms are going to be tile.
Have we decided the packages we want to put as far as appliances? Are we going with general, or are we doing Sub-Zero? I have a different, if you wouldn't mind, I have a different viewpoint. I think we should put in more top of the line
Because we're
appliances
asking top
because
of- yeah.
our price, when you go into, I see property all day, every day. When you go into
Right.
these places, it's not, I never see Jen Air ever anymore.
And if I do,
yeah.
it loses the value.
Value.
Of the, if
I agree with you.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
sub, you need your
Yeah,
sub,
so maybe meal
so
A
important
or
to a
Sub-zero.
woman. Yeah, you have to.
yeah, you can't have,
That's a significant price hike.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
It's so important though, especially as a woman, you know, if I go to and show property and I see cheap, I'm like, oh, how much would it cost to do a panel to match from the closet to, do you know, Matthew, like what
It's not very expensive.
would that make more sense if we did that? Because then
Well,
you-
that's just the fridge style.
What we're trying to do at this particular moment in time is to make a December start date. The civil engineers said that we have got the best drainage in Delray. This is very porous. He said you will never, ever, ever have a problem with drainage there. As it is as of today, we have to go for a review meeting. Only problem that we've had is administratively, and that is that we changed, on the advice of one of our members, the name of the company from Centennial Investments LLC to DBLLP. We needed was everyone to sign off of it, and we had one member that was delaying signing, and then when they eventually decided not to sign, we had to reconstitute the all the administrative applications for Sunbiz. When we put that in, we then hit a backlog because of the COVID situation. I'm hoping that we can manoeuvre around it. Otherwise, it's going to put us back 4 weeks. That aside, we will get a review meeting within the next week. We will be able to put, we believe, 6 to 8 weeks, maybe earlier. We will have all the plans ready, providing the structural engineer gets his stuff together. And the only one also lagging is the MEPs, the mechanical, electrical and plumbing. And providing they get all those permits in, they take about 90 days to review. So we are looking around about December, but once you've got the permits in, you've got to book the labour to go in and do it. Now, are they free? Is there I don't know what that situation is yet.
100% commit to them until you've got the permit.
Yeah, some
You're
of
gonna
the-
get that.
So,
Does the MEPs have to be in place before you start?
not for the review, no, but it does for the permits.
Okay, so you have to have everything for the permit, so you couldn't just get the structure and start and follow with the MEPs?
No, you've got to have everything in together. They've already seen the plans.
Yeah.
And they were very excited about it. They said they really, really liked them. They
and it's
loved
good
the
when the
colour.
city's behind it, you know.
And they said it's one of the best layouts they've seen
nice.
in the city. And so when I spoke to Andre
Andre.
at Ames International Architecture, he said that basically this will just sail through.
As soon as we put it on the MLS, we could be selling it way
Okay.
ahead.
So then I think that the plan should be for this meeting now is that the rest of this week, and let's get it up on the MLS.
We should also do a 3D rendering too, where have you know the 3D?
The walkthrough, you mean?
Yeah,
That's very
and they
good.
show us everything like
All
it's
the
a
angles,
real.
and they can
Yeah.
spin around.
There's another question as well. We've actually put in gas now because it was right in the alley. It was silly not to hook it up to gas.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
definitely gas
so,
is the
so,
best.
So here's my question to you. Well, two things actually. First of all, you were talking about a gas hob rather than an electric hob because people from up north are used to
Love
gas.
it.
And California.
Everybody
Yeah.
likes gas.
Okay, so we do gas hobs. That might actually
That's a big selling, that's a
range.
good selling point, yeah.
range. All right, number one. Number two, do we stick a barbecue in there or we leave it as an option?
Leave it as an option.
Yeah.
We
said
wire it.
option, didn't we?
We're having a big event. It's a high-end event called Inspire in the Breakers. Douglas Allen is doing it,
Oh,
and Knight
nice.
Frank. Couple people. I'm gonna be there. I'll bring this project with me.
Nice.
And Knight Frank is coming in from London too.
Oh, cool.
And New York, and California, and Aspen.
Oh, and this
all
is
the
an
top-
ideal opportunity to present the project.
So we're gonna put all three separately on MLS. I'll designate one.
And we'll do slightly different things here and there, so it shows up
Yeah. So like your first picture will be maybe
right.
the front, the front one, let's say, of the building, because if we do the middle one, and then we'll do the side one, first shot will be that, so it looks different on
Maybe do
MLS.
one with a floor plan, like the floor
Right.
plan, yeah. So if we can really have some marketing pieces by September.
Okay, thank you for joining us. I hope you found it interesting, and we look forward to hearing and speaking to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you know, Julie Cogan of Cogan Construction is our general contractor for this project. And I caught up with her today in her car. She can't hide from me. This being August the 18th, on how progress is generally going. Well, hello, Julie. Thank you for joining us from your very busy schedule in your car, I can see. Obviously, following on from our last interview, I'm really interested, along with the investors, where are we along the timeline, how are we doing, and what is the progress?
Nice seeing you, Tony.
Thank you.
We are at the developmental service review. And what that means is the architectural team has coordinated all of the documents required to pass the developmental services prior to going in for the official permit. So where we are at.
Okay, so I've been obviously speaking with Andre in our interview, and our investors have had the benefit of an update from Andre as well from yesterday's interview. So we're hoping to get the review in the next couple of days, maybe a week, get that meeting underway, although we have got an administrative problem, which I've outlined previously with regards to the company name changing from the LLC to the DB LLP. But assuming that we get round that, what do you see the timeline moving forward?
Once we have the approval from the developmental services, we will move on to the permitting. There may be a few weeks lag in between for our design professionals to finish the final plans. The reason the final plans are not completed is that there's no sense of spending all the time and money if we are rejected. For an example, we propose to do the 3 gas meters on one stand instead of the meters on each individual building. We save money that way. And the committee may come back and say, no, you need to split them up. So we're waiting for the final approval, then we will move on to the final plans and the permitting process.
And the permitting process, although you answered this last time in the last interview, but remind us, what is that permitting process timeline in the real world?
No more than 3 months. And because the plans have been combed over so many times, it should just go right through.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned previously, and the investors are aware of this, that the city had taken a look at the plans in the preview stage of, or pre-review stage of going through this process, and they are delighted with them. So so it seems they're very pro that, the design and everything else. So hopefully it would sail through. And so then we come to this $1 million question, which I've been pushing and promoting all the way through, is that, a December breaking ground. Do you see that as still a possibility? And I know that you said in the previous interview, well, maybe November. But anyway, what's your opinion now, knowing that we've been brought up to date with the facts as they are?
At least November, if not later, depending on how everything proceeds with being approved by the committee we are in front of now. And I wish I could give you a better answer, but, we're basically rezoning a property, taking it from, a single plat to 3 plats. And
well, actually, it's a double plat. Actually, it's 2 plats.
Two, and making it into 3. So all of that takes time. And I think we've gotten all the way through and we checked all the boxes. So the day that's done, we've done our homework, and you signed all the documents, they're all on my desk. So the day it's approved, we could go on for permit.
Right. So, following on our sales and marketing and strategy meeting yesterday, I talked about the availability of labour on this project. So we go in for permitting, we get approved, please God, and then we're ready to go. What about the process of actually getting people down to the job site and starting? How do you see that panning out?
I've had no problems, except very recently with COVID. I've had multiple crews completely out, but they're bouncing back, thank God, very quickly. And besides that, I've been using the same subcontractors for a very long time, and the people I use command the labor, and none of my projects have been held up due to a labor shortage. We did have a very short delay because of COVID.
Right, understood. And finally, where are we going to? When are we going to start the demolition? Is there a methodology behind all of this when we start it?
The demo permit will go in the same day as the new construction, and it's a one-day job. So we'll get the demo permit, we'll clear the land, and we'll be ready to go.
Is there any necessity to actually put up fencing? That was the original plan, but I'm kind of hoping that we can get or skip around that. What is your opinion?
I would prefer skipping around it, although it's a huge liability. You have people walking by the property, you have bars and restaurant nearby, and we do not want to open any of us to the liability. And it's a nuisance for us to manage a fence, but it'll be a lot worse if we don't have the fence and God forbid somebody gets hurt.
No, I understood. Well, look, thank you very much for bringing us up to date as far as.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really appreciate it. The investors,
Bye.
I know, appreciate that. So anyway, thank you very much, Julie. It's been great. I'll let you get on with your day now. I know you're very busy.
Thank you.
And, thank you very much for joining.
Bye, Tony. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Next up, earlier this week, I spoke with Andre Tahara, I hope I spelled that or pronounced it correctly, of Ames International Architecture, our architects on this project. Andre is the guy that's pulling all the plans together from all the other engineers and designers, along with their plans for submittal to the Delray Beach City Planning Department Review Board. So we are very much reliant on him and Shane Ames to keep the ball rolling forward at a pace. Anyway, here is what Andre had to say. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Again, as with everybody else, you're very busy today, so I really appreciate you taking the time out for myself and all the investors to get some sort of clue and idea of what's going on. So just briefly, where are we in the timeline as of August the 16th today at 3:17 p.m. as it so happens?
So right now today we are pretty advanced on our process. The architectural plans are almost done. The MEP plans are on its way. I mean, they are on track and on schedule. The structural engineer is also working on the structural plans and calculations. I think we just need to receive, I mean, we already received the civil plans, so they are good to go too. The same with the surveyor. I mean, with all it's on the in process. I mean, the replanning and the division of the two lots.
I just spoke to Marisha. She was an earlier interview today. I spoke to Marisha. She's well, she's actually waiting for, I think the lady, I forget the name of the lady that is at the city, Rochelle, isn't it?
Rochelle,
Yeah, Rochelle, and she is waiting. Well, obviously she's got all the documentation. We know I had a little bit of a problem this morning regarding some of the administrative bits and pieces of this, i.e. the operating agreement they want to see to make sure that I am a signatory on the new company, the investments.
So she's needed the same document that Rochelle asked about to us.
Yeah.
Am I right?
So I think that the thing is that the survey and the replatting into 3 separate plots, that's quite advanced now. And again, she's waiting on some documentation. But all right, you mentioned the structural engineer there, Andre. That's the only plans that I haven't seen from Tume. So,
no, not yet. They are not finished yet. But they are.
But that's not essential to the review meeting that we've got imminently with the city.
They don't need the structural plans for the site plan review, but they will need it for the permit. I mean, for the review of the building, for the permit to be granted, but not for this first review. They don't need the structural plans.
Okay, that's good. And you said that you've already had a sort of an informal review meeting with the city, and that they like the plans that we've put forward so far.
Yes, I mean, they told us that we are good to go. We just need to finish those 3 documents they mentioned in that email, and we are good to go.
Right. Okay. And you said the civil engineer, his plans are ready. I thought I saw the other day there's a few little bits and pieces that he had to put on his plans. I saw an email.
I sent her the civil plans as well.
Oh,
So,
you did?
Yes, I sent the civil and I sent the landscape plans because they needed everything related to the site plan. They need all the information, including civil plans, landscape, and the architectural site plans.
Okay.
And she only requests those 3 documents. So we are assuming that the rest of the documentation is good to go for
Right.
that pre-review meeting, for that site plan review.
And you think that the pre-review meeting will be just a matter of course, because if they already told you that they like what they've seen already architecturally, you think that it'll just be
I think it's just like a I don't know how to say in English, but I mean just a formality. They need a formality to have. They have that process in the city, so they need to comply with those.
Right. And then once they give their affirmation to the plans that we've got, then it's just a question of putting in the permit applications, correct?
Correct.
All right. And that's almost is that a 2-month process, those permit applications, till the time they say, right, you're ready to go and we can start building?
Yeah, correct. I mean, they give like 90 days to review or 45 days to review all the plans, and then like 60 days to receive the revised plans if there is any comment from them. And then as soon as the permit is granted, we can have the green light.
Right. So I mean, we're still looking like sometime in December breaking ground, correct?
Yes, I think we are on time.
Okay, well, that'll be fantastic. Can you see any hiccups at all coming?
Not from our part. I mean, the design is already approved by you as a client. I mean, as well by the architect. I mean, we as an architectural firm, we are pleased with the design. You as a client as well. We just need to. The city already they approved the proposed design when we met with them. I mean, that pre-review meeting we had. And they like the design very much. So they are pleased with that. So I don't see any obstacle. Yeah.
So really what we're doing now is navigating through the bureaucracy of Delray Beach City planning.
Correct.
And as I said, the one thing that's overhanging us, and the one thing that we do have a little bit of a problem with, and that is that that Sunbiz don't have our Centennial Investments DB LLP on their site yet. And of course, the planning department.
Yeah, they will have it today. So we might have an answer from them tomorrow.
So just to let everybody know at home what we've done in lieu of Sunbiz, just to explain to you what Sunbiz. Sunbiz posts all the entities that are in Florida on their website, and people can check them out to make sure the office is correct and everything else. And we're not on their website yet, even though we actually applied nearly 6 weeks ago, actually longer, 7 weeks ago. But we had a delay, an administrative delay our end, because we were waiting for one of our members to sign their contract, and eventually they didn't. So we had to then revamp the paperwork to put into Sunbiz. But we actually have got an attorney's letter that we had prepared for just in case this instance. And if the operating agreement that we sent through to the city is not good enough, then we'll give them a letter from our attorney who's going to explain what the problem with Sunbiz is. But absent that, that's the only thing I can see that is going to hold us up. Yeah.
Correct. And I think it's just a formality for them. I mean, they just want to have everything right on paper. If they don't have that document, but they have the letter from the attorney, I think that's good for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm okay. All right. So how long do you say before we get the structural engineering plans?
I'm expecting a couple of weeks.
Really? That actually has taken quite a long time, that structural engineers. It's a lot longer than Tume actually said, but I understand they're busy and everything else. But I've actually got on trying to get an interview with him for the next few days, so we'll have a better update for everybody at home when we speak to the horse's head, so to speak. Okay, Andre, thank you very much for taking time out your busy day, as I always say to everybody, and I look forward to speaking to you over the next few days with a bit more positivity in terms of actually we've got a review meeting, we're going to sit down on X date, and then let's get this thing moving forward and get the permit applications in here.
Perfect.
Lovely, thank you. Andre, thank you very much for your help. I appreciate it. As you gathered from our last interview with Curtis House of Lewis Anthony and Associates, Curtis is one of the most important elements of our team as the interior designer. His touches make the difference in selling the townhomes for top dollar or not. I caught up with Curtis for an update. Hi Curtis, thanks for joining us. I understand that, like everybody else, I keep on saying this to everybody that gets on here. I know you're busy, so I really appreciate your time, and I'll be as quick as possible. So let me just ask you, where are we in the timeline at the moment?
We're moving very, very well. We should have most of our things done within the next, 2 or 3 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
So what is left to do?
I have to put together the boards for the presentation of the materials and stuff that will be used. I've got to reconfirm with the engineer the lighting layouts and stuff and the lighting specifications. And so no hiccups other than the general mood of the economy and our building industry.
Yeah.
Everybody has a hiccup, and, the only thing I could say would be to get your materials here ahead of time, because what's the trend has been, yes, we'll have it in 30 days, and then 20 days elapse, and it's going to be another 40 days, and then that'll elapse, and where are my goods? It's going to be another 60 days. So one of the things that is happening, and it's universal with all products, and I think probably in all industries. I mean, we just did on a different venue, ordered a bunch of fabric, and when are we going to get it? You're going to have it in approximately 26 weeks.
Right. Okay.
So the thing is with Julie and any other people that you're involved with, you really need to get the goods here as soon as possible, even if it means having to stage them on site or something like that.
Or put them into storage or something. That makes good sense.
Right.
I spoke, as you'll see when you watch the CITV episode for this coming month, that we had a sales, marketing and strategy meeting with the sales team. And what we were talking about was putting some mood boards together as quickly as we can, because we're going to try and pre-sell these units, obviously. How long do you reckon it would take you to, and again, no pressure, but just a general question. How long do you think it's going to take you to put the mood boards together for us, the physical mood board, so we can show someone?
Well, the thing is, I've got all the stuff as far as the construction, the pavers, the tiles, the countertop materials and everything. I have to get with the cabinet people to get their samples to include that. But other than that, we're pretty well covered.
Yeah, I mean, we're undecided who we're going to use for the cabinetry at the moment. I'm actually promoting someone else to Matthew, Danielle, and yourself, and I'll present their possibilities to you sort of in a week or so's time. But I think there's quite a good alternative to the traditional cabinetry that we're looking at getting at a good price. But I would obviously leave that to you for the final decision.
Yeah, you don't want to have cabinets you're going to have troubles with once you've delivered the goods to your purchasers.
No, I appreciate it. No, it's just I had some cabinetry made on another unit that on a very low cost unit, I may say, a few months ago. And I was very impressed with the quality and the look and the feel. So I'd like to show that to you. But anyway, that's for another time. Any other problems you can see moving forward, or you basically really covered it, haven't you?
Yep, just getting the goods here is the only thing that is unforeseen.
Okay, all right. Well, lovely. Look, as I said to you last interview and this interview, as we move along the timeline, another 2 months, we'll hook up. Although I suspect in 2 months' time we'll actually be in the hands of the planning department, and nothing really will be happening, because just waiting for their approval. But in
Right.
the meantime, thank you very much indeed for joining us, Curtis. It's again very appreciative of your time. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you.
Okay, Tony. Likewise.
See you. Bye bye now.